With the brand new update that Bungie shipped this week in Destiny 2 came a buff to the damage output of 180 scout rifles, among other things, but it got me thinking, what happens to a God roll hung jury with these changes? And the answer is that it can 2-tap with literally zero build synergy needed. It's actually hilarious. In fact, the Destiny Twitter gremlins are already losing their minds over a short video I posted showing this 2-tap potential. And that has provided hours of free entertainment for me. In this video, I'll show you how, and I'll break down the new math on these 180s for you so you know what to look for on them. But before we do, allow me to thank the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Listen guys, I can't stress enough just how important it is to prioritize your personal hygiene and actually have a plan when it comes to your cleanliness and your presentation. You owe it to yourself to have a body that you're proud of, and you owe it to your partner with whom you choose to share your body. I've been married for 12 years now, and I can tell you, your hygiene matters to your partner whether they openly talk about it or not. So do something about it. Manscaped is the hands-down ultimate one-stop shop for men who care about their hygiene. They have continued to develop new products to meet your every need, products that are dye-free, cruelty-free, and paraben-free. In fact, they just launched their brand new Platinum Package 4.0. This will get all of your bases covered in one fell swoop. It includes Manscaped's new underarm deodorant, which is aluminum-free, unlike that stuff at the big stores named like, Black Phoenix or something. The Platinum Package also has the Crop Preserver deodorant for your boys downstairs so you're not generating odors throughout the day. You're also going to get two things that have become a daily part of my routine now. They sit side by side in aluminum cans in the shower. One of them is their body wash and the other is their brand new shampoo and conditioner. Both of these things are fantastic. You're also going to get the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer with skin-safe technology for a close shave with no nicks and cuts, and the Weed Whacker to take care of those unsightly nose hairs without all that tugging and pulling. Manscaped now offers the Peak Hygiene Plan as well. For those of you who have your tools, you just need to get topped off every now and then with things like blades and deodorants and more. One thing to note is that the Platinum Package 4.0 also comes with two free gifts. One of them is the Shed travel bag to keep all your goods in, and the other thing is a free pair of their anti-chafing boxer briefs, which are fantastic. So go to manscaped.com today. Get 20% off your order, free international shipping, and two free gifts when you use promo code Vanguard20 at checkout. Do it for you, do it for your partner, and do it right now. All right, let's get back to Destiny. Alrighty, now you might recall this video that I published over a year ago during the season of the Splicer, where I recommended a 3-tap God roll on the hung jury since it was in the Nightfall rotation. And this is one of those instances where those of you who took the advice to heart and then went and got it done are in for a real treat, because the hung jury is no longer available at the present time in Destiny 2. So if you took that advice, you're in really good shape right now. Now the hung jury has access to a unique perk called Boxed Breathing. And this perk it's only ever been on 2 scout rifles in the game of this archetype. You're looking at the No Feelings, which was a great scout rifle, loved it back in the day, but it has long since been sunset, and its stats were also notably worse than the hung jury. It didn't have access to adept mods either, and the zoom on that scout was 24 compared to hung jury's 22. So when hung jury came out with 22 zoom and access to box breathing and access to adept mods, it made the hung jury it's so much easier to use up close in mid-range duels with that zoom value being lower, or even in CQC duels, as you'll see me win a lot of those, like in 180 hand cannon range during this gameplay. And also, this gameplay, it includes footage from 4 different We Ran Out of Metals streaks that I had in one sitting, just testing this stuff out. And one particularly long kill streak of 35 kills. So this weapon was literally laughing in the face of things like Lemon Arcs and DMTs and other far-reaching meta options. Real quick, let me show you the changes to 180 scout rifles, and then we'll go from there. 180 scouts were severely underperforming in the sandbox because they were exceptionally unforgiving. If you missed a headshot, you were stretching the length of your optimal TTK, oftentimes up close to 2 seconds. That's really long. And in Destiny 2, a 2-second TTK is literally like trying to kill a fly while swinging a sledgehammer. Like, good freaking luck with that. So Bungie, they upped the damage a little bit to grant some built-in forgiveness on these scout rifles that were underperforming. They're some of the least popular weapons in the entire sandbox in PvP. So body shot damage went from 34 to now 38 damage. And crit damage went from 54.4 up to 60.8, so that rounds up to 61. You'll see 61 precision damage in the gameplay in the background. That means that you can now go 2 to the head and 2 to the body to secure a kill. But that still isn't incredible. You know, scouts were designed to kill a little slower, but the trade-off is that they have extremely deep reach and can hit their optimal TTKs easily from basically anywhere on the map without dealing with damage drop-off that is, you know, significant enough to change anything with those damage numbers. So Bungie has this design philosophy when it comes to scout rifles. And they've talked about it openly multiple times before, where they're really nervous to make scout rifles too good, because they don't want to encourage gameplay that is passive. They don't want people finding a safe place on the map just to post up with a scout rifle and get, you know, the kind of TTKs you see out of, you know, high impact aggressive frame pulse rifles with a 0.67 TTK, and hand cannons are under a second optimal TTK, because you have to get close, you know, and you have to land your shots. It's a little bit more tricky. It's not as simple as mapping somebody from the other end of the map with a scout rifle, and you're not dealing with incoming flinch oftentimes because you're too far away for them to do anything about it. So it would be a terrible meta if all scouts could just absolutely shred at those kinds of TTKs that you see out of other primaries. So that's sort of their design philosophy, and I think that's the right way to do it. But there are some outliers, and the hung jury is one of them, and with box breathing, it can start to break some of those paradigms and break some of those rules and perform outside of its design philosophy. But the real fun, it comes when you start bringing box breathing into the mix. This is what really makes it an outlier. As a reminder, box breathing, it activates after 1.5 seconds of scoping in without firing, and it grants an accuracy buff and a precision damage buff to your next shot. So the timer resets after the shot is taken. While snipers and linears, they get a precision damage buff with box breathing in the 30 to 37% range. Scout rifles, conversely, they get a 66% damage buff. It's huge. It's like double, okay? Double what linears and snipers get, I mean. That means that the hung jury, it used to do 89 to the head with box breathing, you know, back before this update came out. And that meant that you could 3-tap a Guardian if you went 3 to the head. But it had to be 3 to the head. A body shot would mean that you'd have to go for the 4th shot, so it doesn't change your optimal TTK. But now things are a little bit different. Box breathing is going to instead be doing 99 to the head, and the weapon is doing 61 to the head on a standard headshot and 39 to the body. So if you do the math, now you only need to go 2 to the head and 1 to the body. 2 to the head, 1 to the body, and that will 3-tap. So your 3-taps just got way easier to pull off. But it doesn't end there. There's more. So with the headshot damage with box breathing active being 99, that means there's another option on the table that's actually going to be incredible for peek shotting. If you get box breathing active and peek out and take your first shot and hit for 99, you can actually strafe back into cover and keep yourself safe, and then strafe back out as soon as you hear the box breathing proc again and activate after 1.5 seconds, and then you take your second shot for a 2-tap. Okay, it's hilarious. I did this to so many people so many times, and I have to imagine the confusion that they were facing. Like, honestly, you really got to try this. One important thing to remember, though, is that this isn't going to be like a 2-shot kill that is a 0.33 second optimal TTK. You know, if something was doing 99 damage to the head and shot at a 180, RPM, you'd be looking at a 1/3 of a second optimal TTK, which would be insane. You do have to reactivate box breathing, okay? So it's not as oppressive as you might think just hearing it. You do have to, that's why I said you have to use the peek shotting to your advantage. So you peek out, you take your shot, pop for 99, back into cover, 1.5 seconds later, that's going to reactivate, you peek out again, pop. Now 1.5 seconds, it goes pretty quickly in the moment, so it may sound long, but honestly, you're looking at an optimal TTK of no less than probably, 1.6 seconds if you're really fast on your peak between the 2 shots. So it's not going to be an oppressive TTK. Like, if people are smart enough to take cover after they've received 99 damage and try to heal up, they'll be okay. But some people, this is the thing, and we'll get to this in a second, is something about 99 damage that's sort of the sweet spot and makes people feel safe for some reason, and I'll talk about that in a second. One thing to note, this does work on the no feelings too. So if you still have one of those with box breathing, you can do it. It's just a lot easier, I think, to pull off with the hung jury for the reasons previously mentioned. Okay, now, one thing I noticed about the 99 headshot damage is that you're going to be getting a whole lot of kills and Guardians in one shot. Guardians often peak or challenge when their shields have not yet been popped, you know, even if they've taken damage. And since Guardian shields and Guardian HP are not an even split, I don't know if you know that, it's not like you get 100 shield HP and 100 red health HP. It doesn't work like that. So a Guardian with 99 HP left will sometimes feel safe enough to peak because technically they still have some shields. And that provides this false sense of security for them, when in fact they only have maybe 85 total health left or so, like less than half of their total, and they feel like they've got more than half because they still have shields. So the 99 damage that you get with box breathing is perfect for this. It'll drop those Guardians instantly from just about any range on the map. They think, oh, I can peek this, I still have some shields and I'm pretty far away from the action, and then pop, and they drop. So it happened a lot in my hours of testing this. A lot of times you're just going to see me take one shot at a guy and watch him drop in this background gameplay, and that's exactly why. They felt safe. They had some shields left, and they thought, okay, I've got some HP to work with. I'm okay to just run past here. What are the chances something's going to hit me for 99 damage, you know what I mean? So the basic gist here is that the scout buffs did a few things for the hung jury. It made 3 taps much easier to do, as they no longer require perfect precision to pull off. It made 2 taps possible if you're peak shotting or your opponent is, and you have time to reactivate box breathing. And it made surprise one-shot kills on opponents who think they're safe with a little of their shields left very common. All in all, hung jury just went from just okay to absolutely fantastic in this sandbox. If you have one of these things, I'd highly encourage you to dust it off, take it for a spin, see how it feels. Couple this with an SMG or a sidearm or your favorite glaive or shoddy. You've got lots of options these days. So best of luck in all of your gaming endeavors. Thanks for watching the video today. If you enjoyed it, would you consider leaving a like on the video and sharing it? As always, feel free to subscribe to my channel to get notified whenever I post new content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.